So,
Good evening, everyone. It is 6:30. It is Monday, June 3rd. It's time to begin the Liquor Control Commission for the evening. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Raffato,
Here.
Commissioner Kruger,
present.
Commissioner Lang,
Here.
Commissioner Vito,
Here.
Commissioner Papantos,
Present.
Commissioner Vogel,
Here.
Chairperson Horker.
Here, you have before you the minutes of the special meeting of May 20th, 2024. I need a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Motion, Commissioner Vogel, second.
Second.
Commissioner Papantos, roll call, please.
Commissioner Papantos,
Yes.
Commissioner Vito,
Yes.
Commissioner Lang,
Yes.
Commissioner Kruger,
Yes.
Commissioner Raffato,
Abstain.
Commissioner Vogel,
Yes.
and Chairperson Horker.
Yes, citizens' concerns?
Not today.
Okey-doke.
New business.
Letter A.
6A, consideration of a request for a Class L liquor license from Priester Aviation LLC for an event to be held at Chicago Executive Airport, Hangar 9, at 1061 South Wolf Road on Tuesday, June 18, 2024, and two unspecified later dates.
Mr. Sfondilis, what do we got?
Thank you. As the title indicates, it actually gives a pretty detailed explanation of what this is. A Class L license is a corporate special event license that would allow Priester Aviation to hold this event mentioned specifically and two others to be identified should they need them at a later date. Should the commission wish to grant this license, I would ask that a motion be made with the following conditions: submittal of a certificate of liquor liability insurance, submittal of proof of Bassett certification for all applicable individuals, and finally, payment of all applicable fees.
Questions or comments from the board?
So moved.
Motion, Commissioner Lang, second.
Second.
Commissioner Kruger, roll call, please.
Commissioner Kruger,
Yes.
Commissioner Lang,
Yes.
Commissioner Vito,
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Raffato,
Yes.
Chairperson Horker.
Yes. B.
All right, 6B, consideration of request for a Class I liquor license from Wheeling Helping Hands for an event to be held at 375 West Dundee Road in Wheeling Town Center on Saturday, July 13th, 2024.
Mr. Sfondilis.
Similarly, that description is pretty accurate, providing most of the details. I would add that this is a Class I not-for-profit special event license for said Bratfest fundraiser. And if the commission would like to consider approval, I would ask that a motion be made with the condition for submittal of proof of Bassett certifications for all applicable individuals.
Questions or comments? Nothing?
So moved with conditions.
Commissioner Kruger, second.
Second.
Commissioner Raffato, roll call, please.
Commissioner Lang,
Yes.
Commissioner Vito,
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel,
Abstain.
Commissioner Raffato,
Yes.
Commissioner Kruger,
Yes.
Chairperson Horker.
Yes, that concludes the work of the Liquor Control Commission for the evening. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Raffato, second. Commissioner Kruger,
Hold on, I'm gonna
all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
hold on. Let me get the other
I'll
one.
go slow. The Liquor Control Commission is now adjourned. I would like to call to order the regular meeting of the Village Board
Come on.
for June, are we ready to go?
Almost.
June 3rd,
I'm
2024.
Peter doesn't want to move as fast as me.
I understand.
I'm staying up. All right. Save it. Get me
All
out
good.
of here. Stop it. Stop.
I'd like to call the meeting to order.
All right.
Roll call, please. Wait, no, we skipped the pledge. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel,
Here.
Trustee Papantos,
Present.
Trustee Vito,
Here.
Trustee Lang,
Here.
Trustee Kruger,
Present.
Trustee Raffato,
Here.
President Horker.
Here. You have before you the minutes of May 20th, 2024. I need a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Trustee Papantos, second.
Second.
Trustee Vogel, roll call.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Abstain.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Chairperson Horker?
Yes, any changes?
There are no changes this evening.
We have some wonderful recognitions and proclamations for this evening. That's a really cool thing. Clerk Brady, so you're going to be front and center here for a while.
I don't have the citizen one.
Don't have the citizen one?
That's, the chief is doing it.
Well, then,
I have the 2 firefighters.
let's start with the citizen one.
Okay.
This is awesome. This is a community being a community. What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. I am happy to announce that we have a life-saving award for one of our residents who was involved in a emergency incident and did some incredible things. And we want to bring up Margarett Neilson. Margaret, are you here? On May 5th, Margaret was cutting her grass on Virginia Place and stopped to talk to her neighbor and saw that her neighbor grabbed his chest and collapsed to the ground. She did what a lot of people should do, not everybody does. She didn't panic. She went inside, said, call 911. She came outside, she started doing CPR. The PD was contacted and dispatched for fire, and everybody got moving. As luck would have it, the ambulance was in quarters and the engine at Station 44. Everybody got on scene within a few minutes. It was like 4 minutes, and she was doing CPR. And even in the ambulance report, they commented on how well his color looked because there was such great CPR being done. So the patient's name was Oscar. He, was unconscious, not breathing, no pulse, and she did CPR until the ambulance got there. The ambulance did their thing, got him to the hospital. Glenbrook Hospital did an outstanding job at the ER, continued everything going. And that gentleman walked out of the hospital 5 days later. So it is an incredibly wonderful story and success story because somebody jumped in and started doing CPR. So we want to appreciate what Margaret did, and not everybody does in those situations. A lot of people don't want to help out, don't want to jump in and, save a life, but, you did the right thing, and it was an incredible situation. And because of that, her neighbor is up walking around and doing fantastic. So he was a young man, and because it was a witnessed full arrest and the CPR was done right away and 911 was called right away, and, that chain of survival was started and continued all the way to the hospital, he walked out of the hospital. So we want to give Margaret a Fire Chief Citizen Award in recognition of outstanding service to the community performed on May 5th, 2024, for the quick actions taken in administering CPR to an unconscious victim at 404 Virginia Place, Wheeling, prior to fire department arrival. Very much.
Did you?
Are you going to read the next one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do him first, right? Steve Kosick Day, June 5th, 2024. Whereas Steve Kosick... Let me start this. Steve Kosick began his employment as a firefighter-paramedic with the Wheeling Fire Department on June 5th, 1998, was promoted to lieutenant paramedic on March 1st, 2010, and to battalion chief on June 4th, 2012. And whereas through the years, Steve Kosick has served as hazardous material team leader, maintained the Ambulance Safety Inspection Program, retained his paramedic license for 25 years, graduated from the National Fire Academy, obtained the title of Chief Fire Officer, and rose through the ranks to become a lieutenant and battalion chief. And whereas throughout his career, Steve Kosick was dedicated himself to making Wheeling a safer place to live and work. And whereas after 26 years of dedicated service with the Wheeling Fire Department, Steve Kosick is retiring. Pat Horker, President of the Village of Wheeling, does hereby proclaim June 5th, 2024 as Steve Kosick Day in the Village of Wheeling in recognition and appreciation of his many years of dedicated service to the community and to the fire department.
So it's, I keep it short. So it's almost 30 years of service to the community, and it is wonderful that so many of you come and stay so long and serve so well. When you said that the paramedics came and did their thing, it just makes it, not that you downplay what they do, but the course of your day, and yours, and all of you, is saving lives. And it should never be casual when you say that. What this lady did was amazing. It was wonderful. Thank you for stepping up and saving a life. And thank you for however many lives you probably saved over the decades. Small token of the community for your service.
I do. Thank you. I appreciate the board recognizing me. I appreciate the board's time. It's nice that they take the time to recognize the employees. I'd like to take a little bit of time to just point out some people that I brought with me today. I have my sister Donna, who is a Wheeling resident for the past 28 years. She raised her family here, Natalie and Stephanie. They're both graduates of Wheeling High School. One just graduated Illinois State. And I'd like to also recognize my parents, who've been married for 57 years. Thank you.
Okay. Mike Kaplan Day, June 7th, 2024. Whereas Mike Kaplan began his career in the public service on July 5th, 1989, and has served the Village of Wheeling with distinguished service since October 22nd, 2001, as its Director of Finance. And whereas Michael Kaplan has been a constantly trusted voice of the Village of Wheeling with respect to the finance, health, and prosperity, and whereas during his career with the Village of Wheeling, Michael Kaplan has earned a strong reputation for financial integrity, balancing budgets, measured decision-making, and stellar financial planning. And whereas Mike Kaplan has been a valued mentor and advisor whose knowledge and experience is evident in the strong policies and practices of the Village of Wheeling. And whereas Michael Kaplan's extraordinary dedication to public service reflects the highest ideals expected of public employees and services as a model for many to follow. And whereas with 35 years of service to the public, Michael Kaplan will retire on June 7th, 2024, celebrating 22 years and 7 months of service with the Village of Wheeling. And whereas it is within great honor that the Village of Wheeling recognizes Mike Kaplan, Director of Finance, for his long and distinguished career. And whereas the Village of Wheeling and the Department of Finance express their genuine and sincere gratitude for Michael Kaplan's career of dedication, professional service, and congruent Michael on his retirement. He is invaluable employee, colleague, and friend. Patrick Horker, President of the Village of Wheeling, does hereby proclaim Friday, June 7th, 2024, as Michael Kaplan Day in the Village of Wheeling, and we are most grateful for the many contributions Michael has made during his 35 years of public service and extend our best wishes for many years of good health and happiness during his retirement and future endeavors.
So I was here when you were first hired. Do you remember your first recommended budget increase that very first year?
I do, unfortunately.
It was like 12 or 13%.
It was 12%, very good.
Yeah, yeah. And he was afraid he was going to be fired. But over the years, you did. It took very short order for you to establish just your qualifications and the validity of your opinions. Wheeling is right now today doing amazing things as a result of the financing and recommendations that you've made, and the board has had the good sense to listen to, and we're all basically, the entire village is profiting because of your skill and your experience. I was at a meeting last week. It was a bunch of mayors and village presidents. It was over by Congressman Schneider's. And it was a round table where you were supposed to come and, tell the congressman what you need, and he was going to see what he could do for it. And other towns were saying that they don't know where they're going to get the money for a fire station. They don't know where they're going to get the money for a village hall. They don't know where they're going to get the money for infrastructure programs. And I'm sitting there going, we just built 2 fire stations. We built a city hall. We have our water program. And it's it's things like that where I realize how fortunate we really are to have you. And now you're retiring, but that's okay. But I do appreciate everything that you've brought to this village. And over the years, I've seen you work and just finding the money and making us aware of programs. And it will be very difficult for Mr. Smith to, fill your shoes. I know you've trained him. I hope you'll still be on call if we need you. But it's scary. This guy is really good. But just sincerely, thank you for all the years and for everything you've done for this village. So,
Thank you, I appreciate it.
yes.
Well, I'd also like to recognize my family. I have my wife here, Cindy, my mother-in-law, Linda, my kids, Christine, Kate, Eden, and Leo, my sister-in-law, Tammy, and my father-in-law, Bill. And I appreciate their support, especially from my wife, who I adore and who I think is happy because she doesn't have to listen to my long-winded stories about what happened at work each day anymore, so that'll be good for her. I just had a few words to say. I actually have a 45-minute PowerPoint presentation.
Expect nothing less.
Yeah, it's the village of Spondylusville. No.
3-legged stools.
Right.
For the report.
I just want the village board and the staff and everyone here to know how grateful I am for having had the opportunity to work for the village of Wheeling. It's truly been an honor for me. And over the years, people have asked me, when I meet new people, they'll ask me, what do you do for a living? And it's always been with a lot of pride that I've told them that I work for the village of Wheeling. So I just want you to know that. We have an excellent village board full of dedicated people who are doing their best to try to make this community better than it was yesterday, and they're succeeding every day in doing that. And I appreciate all the support that you give staff, and I know that the rest of the staff feels that way too. And in particular, I appreciate the trust that you've placed in me over the years. It means a lot to me. And I also just want to thank John Sfondilis, who's really an excellent village manager. And he's just, excuse me, a strong advocate for the Village of Wheeling, who comes to work every day doing the best that he can for the village. He's wonderful to work for. And we're lucky to have him, and I'm lucky to call him a friend as well. So thank you. And I want to thank the Finance Department employees, both past and present. We have great employees in the Finance Department who provide excellent customer service to our residents and businesses and our internal customers, which are the other employees too. They come to work every day trying to do that, and they succeed on a regular basis. And then I want to thank Brian Smith, who couldn't be here today. He's on a well-deserved vacation because he's done the heavy lifting in the Finance Department for many years, and I've benefited from that. Brian is the hardest working person that I've ever met, and probably the best accountant that I've ever seen, definitely. And I'm very excited for him and the opportunity that he now has to be the finance director, and he's going to make an excellent finance director. And then I also want to thank my friend Mike, who's my best friend from college. It's a pretty rare thing for someone to get to spend most of their career working with their best friend, and I've been blessed that way. We've shared a lot of laughs together, and over time we've shared some tears as well, because life happens. And but work was always a lot more fun for me because I had my friend here to work with and to share Diet Cokes with at McDonald's every day. So thank you for that. And that's it. And thank you again for the opportunity. I appreciate everything.
We have a lot of things to celebrate this evening, and so we are returning a tradition of cake and, except now I guess we have cupcakes and. Cupcakes and. So I need a motion to adjourn for, say, 7 minutes.
So moved.
Recess for 7 minutes. That's what council's for. Motion, Trustee Kruger, second, Trustee Rufato. We do all in favor?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those of you who just want to sit here, but there's cupcakes. Or I need a motion to reconvene into a regular meeting.
So moved.
Motion, Trustee Papantos, second.
I'll second.
Trustee Rufato, roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Here. You had
Trustee
cupcake in your mouth, didn't you?
Papantos?
I did. She calls on me first. I got a mouthful.
Oh,
Trustee Vogel?
Oh, this is.
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
President Horker?
yes. See, I haven't started mine yet. I heard the roll call.
I did.
What?
I did my roll.
Everyone voted yes on a roll call. I don't know if it was a motion or a roll call.
Oh,
It was a roll call. There you go. I'm the only one here then. Here.
A motion to come back in.
I don't know what it is.
Motion to come back and,
No, it was to reconvene. Yes was the correct We already did.
All right, then yes.
So,
Say no.
Yes, you're here.
Let's get back to the schedule, shall we? Citizens' concerns?
Not today.
That brings us to the consent agenda.
Okay. Consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless the board member or citizen so request, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered after all other agenda items. 13A, resolution authorizing the acceptance of a previously bid Sourcewell contract with Altorf Industries for the purchase of one wheel loader in the amount of $172,960. 11B, resolution authorizing the acceptance of a previously bid Sourcewell contract with Altorf Industries for the purchase of one skid steer loader in the amount of $96,755. 11C, resolution approving a contract with Chicagoland Paving Contractors, Inc. for the Lakeside Villas resurfacing project in the amount of $415,000 in fiscal year 2024. 11D, resolution waiving competitive bidding and accepting a proposal in the amount of $77,250 with Tran US Inc. for the chiller upgrade at Village Hall. 11E, resolution approving a final one-year contract extension of the previously bid contract with Precision Paving Marking Inc. for the fiscal year 2024 pavement marking program in the amount not to exceed $34,610.25. 11F, resolution accepting a previously bid Houston Galveston Area Council HGAC contract with EJ Equipment, Inc. for the purchase of one sewer camera inspection unit in the amount of $302,638. 11G, resolution accepting the National Intergovernmental Purchase Alliance previously bid contract with CDW Government LLC for the purchase of Hewlett-Packard personal computers in the amount of $105,541.52. 11H, resolution approving certain executive session meeting minutes of the President and Board of Trustees of the Village of Wheeling, Illinois.
Any questions or concerns? There being none, I would look for a motion to approve as printed.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, trustee Rufados, second. Trustee Papantos, roll call, please.
Trustee Lang,
Yes.
trustee Kruger,
yes.
trustee Rufato,
Yes.
trustee Vogel,
Yes.
trustee Papantos.
Yes.
Trustee Vito,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes.
New business. Oh, we have a public hearing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to call to order a public meeting. Wait, there's a, where's the thingy? Public hearing regarding the appeal of the Plan Commission's decision regarding the request to modify the exterior building facade of the parking structure to allow for a permanent art installation at 500 West Dundee Road. The applicant is the Village of Wheeling. This is the public hearing portion of the evening.
Yes, per section 19-13-20I of the Village Code, anyone can appeal a Plan Commission decision, final decision, and one of the steps of that is a public hearing. As you stated, the village's petitioner appealed the vote of the Plan Commission. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone on the public who wants to comment on this matter?
No one is rushing forward to comment. I would look for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Papantos, second. Trustee Vogel, roll call, please.
Trustee Krueger,
Yes.
trustee Rufato,
Yes.
trustee Vogel,
Yes.
trustee Papantos.
Yes.
Trustee Vito,
Yes.
trustee Lang,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes. Number B.
13B, ordinance granting an appeal of an adverse decision and approving a minor site plan amendment for the installation of the public art mural at 500 West Dundee.
Mr. Spondilis.
Thank you. As discussed at the previous board meeting, the Village of Wheeling is looking to install an art mural on the parking garage of the Uptown 500 residential development. The board approved an amendment to the RDA with Uptown 500 in order to approve monies to pay for the mural. What is before you this evening is simply answering a question, which is, shall the village install and allow the installation of an art mural on the exterior building facade of the parking structure to allow for a permanent art installation? This may seem a little backwards, considering the money was approved at the last meeting. However, this is a requirement following the discussion at the Plan Commission, where there was a tied vote through the commission. So this is the village board's opportunity to say yes, that you would like a mural at that location. Again, answering that specific question. The second part of the request is, at the board's direction, during the conversation at the last meeting, there was a request to perhaps enlarge the size of the mural. So I would ask that any motion be made tonight with the following language that would allow the mural to be larger if we decide that's the direction we want to go. The reason we have to do it this way is because what you are responding to is exactly what the Plan Commission saw. And since the board gave direction since that time, we need to make sure that we incorporate the idea that this could get larger. So the motion would be a motion to approve an ordinance granting an appeal of an adverse decision and approving a minor site plan amendment for the installation of a public art mural that extends the entire west wall at 500 West Dundee.
Trustee Lang, you had a comment?
Yeah, at the last meeting, I had brought up the fact that maybe we extend it to additional panels. And after the meeting, stopped by there, no one was sure how many panels there were. Turns out there's 6, and it's quite a few panels to paint in that same light. So maybe a suggestion, and I brought it up with Manager Spondilis, about perhaps the upper portion of the wall be some sort of incorporated in the design, as opposed to every panel. That might save us some money, and that's what's visible from Dundee Road.
Yes, I've spoken with the artist. There are a number of options that he's going to work through when he comes up with a rendering, but that is effectively what we plan to do moving forward.
So I'm taking back my limitations and just go for it, but, because there's too many panels to
would
do
be-
it all.
Yes, correct.
And it would probably be quite expensive, so.
The current thought would be to, initially, the idea was to cover the first 2 panels, as you said. The thought now is perhaps to cover 4 panels, but paint all 6. So using the background color, which, again, all of this is going to be forthcoming with a rendering and such, but to use the background color to extend through all 6, but not have the mural overtake the entire building, which, like you said, would be quite expensive and probably a bit too much. So he understands the assignment, and the next step is to get to rendering for you to see, and the building owner as well.
And one other part to this, I like this idea. This is a great fix. This is going to actually add to the community, for sure. I just am not happy with the idea that we allowed exposed concrete like this, and it sort of really is pretty glaring that it maybe shouldn't be in the future. So something that we should look at and change going forward, should that situation come up. I'm getting head nods, so yeah, good. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the board? There are none. That being the case, I would look for a motion to approve as described.
So moved.
Motion, trustee Lang, second, trustee Vito. Roll call, please.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes.
All right, 13C, ordinance granting a variation from Title 19 zoning to permit the use of shipping containers in the R2 single-family residential zoning district for Heritage Park 109 Community Boulevard, Wheeling Park District, docket number PV 24-0002.
Mr. Clicker, what do we got?
As Clerk Brady stated, it's a variation request from the Park District to utilize shipping containers for storage purposes at Heritage Park. You can see on the screen, there's marked in yellow where the containers would be located as really the entrance into the softball, baseball field area on the east side. The shipping containers, use of shipping containers is not permitted unless it's in the industrial district, therefore that's why they are seeking a variation. But in this location, with this use proposed, it is recommended for approval.
Questions or comments? Trustee Rufato?
Yes, thank you. Just a general question, if you can come up. It's a great use of shipping containers, and I'm wholeheartedly in agreement with this. But in the proposal, you've had phase 1, phase 2, and it seems like phase 2 is just the canopy covering. When will that happen?
We're anticipating later in the summer. We just want to get the containers in place so that it doesn't really affect the operations. But as soon as our staff frees up, because they're going to do that work, they'll.
I thought it was like phase 2 next year or something.
No. The intent is to get it done
Oh,
this year.
that's fine. Okay, thank you. That was
Yep.
that was all.
Craft class. Trustee Papantos?
Thank you. On the phase 2 with the canopy, which I happened to be at the Plan Commission meeting, so I saw it, and it looks really nice. Will that still make it movable if you wanted to move these to a different
If we want to move
entrance?
it, we would have to take off the roof, but we will be able to move the containers on at any point.
And you could put the roof back on then?
Correct.
And will that roof provide shelter, like from rain or
Yes.
weather?
Yeah, it'll have like an asphalt, or not an asphalt, shingle roof system on top of it. So it'll provide protection.
Great. And do you plan to sell space as far as signs versus a mural?
Yeah, we are going to talk about sponsorship opportunities in there and, having the opportunity for like vinyl signs that we can change out over the time.
Thank you.
Trustee Krueger?
Thank you, Mr. President. I wasn't going to ask this question, but it's more for staff. I'm in favor of the idea. It's just that it's an R2 zone. We have other residential zones in the community. What will prevent any of those residential R2 or R1 to ask for a variance
Well,
like this?
Prevent them from asking nothing. To prevent them, to look at the approvals, they would have to be a hardship and a bona fide use that the staff and Plan Commission could support. In this case, those two aspects have been met.
True, very good. The code is not silent on shipping containers because it does state that it is only allowed in the industrial area.
Correct.
So any other zone must be with a variance.
Correct.
That's what I wanted to ask publicly. Thank you.
If there are no other comments or questions, I would be looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Trustee Rufato, second. Trustee Lang, roll call, please.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, there you go.
Thank you very much.
13D, resolution authorizing and consenting to a Cook County Class 7A real estate tax assessment classification for the real property located at 401 West Dundee Road, Wheeling, Illinois, 60090.
Mr. Becker, this is interesting. What do we got?
President Horker, trustees, we have the request by Synergy Entertainment for a Cook County Class 7A property tax incentive due to the movie business being well below expectations and really needing this assistance. When Synergy did come in, purchased the property in July of 2022, CMX was the previous developer and operator of the theater. They vacated due to the COVID pandemic, and the business has not recovered. Unexpectedly, the writer's strike also compounded everything that has been happening. So in order for Synergy to maintain their business operation, they are requesting this Cook County Class 7 incentive, which is very similar to the 6s that have been used in the past and embraced by the board for manufacturing and industrial uses. So with that being said, I'm happy to answer any questions. Synergy has purchased the property and they've invested about $700,000 into the improvements, which would qualify under the 7A versus a 7B or a 7C. So those are just some of the technical distinctions made by the Cook County Assessor. And with that, I have Mark Rogers, who's the attorney representing Synergy, and Cade Pittman, who is also with Synergy here as well to answer any questions.
Crickets. Nothing to my left, nothing to my right.
No.
If there are no questions or comments, Mr. Spondilis?
Thank you. I'd just like to add one technical aspect. Should the board be willing to move forward, I would like to read the motion, but by way of explanation, typically when the village board approves a Class 6 or a Class 7 incentive, there is a public hearing component to those requests. On November 4th, we discussed removing the public hearing portion of the conversation. One, because it was an internal rule. This is not a requirement of the county. And two, because it really served no purpose that we could identify in the years of providing these to our community. So there was agreement from the board to remove that. We had not yet put the resolution before the board that would approve that change. Therefore, we will do that at the next meeting. That will be in the consent agenda for your next packet for the 17th. Therefore, in order to make sure all of our bases are covered, I would ask the motion to be motion to waive the public hearing requirement and approve a resolution authorizing and consenting to a Cook County Class 7A real estate tax assessment classification for the real property located at 401 West Dundee Road, Wheeling, Illinois, 60090.
So I'd be looking for a motion as such.
Yes.
So moved.
Second?
Motion, trustee Papantos, second, trustee Krueger. Looked like Rafato wanted it, but roll call, please.
Trustee Rafato?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. Official communications, trustee Papantos.
Yeah, I realize that Director Kaplan has left, but I do want to thank him for his years of service and for somehow making something very complex like financial policies easy to understand for those of us who never really liked finance. He made it all seem so easy. He also spent the time to mentor who will be Deputy Director Smith, who will be, taking his place. And it's going to make it seamless for the village. I'm sure he's going to be missed. Brian will fill his shoes, but, to take something that's so complex and explain it, and we can all go, I understand that, okay, and move forward, and kind of makes the village look good, and this board in particular. So send him my thanks. It's great. And there's another anniversary coming up this week on the 7th for somebody who's been here, I believe, 31 years now, Manager Spondilis, and
31.
31, it kind of shows a lot of commitment to this village that you don't see that often anywhere anymore. And I'd like to thank you for doing that for us. Thank you.
Other questions or comments? There being none.
And make Director Kaplan listen to that when he gets back to work.
Nice, yeah. If there are no other questions or comments, we do still have the bills to pay for May 16th through the 29th, 2024. Have a motion for their approval, please.
So moved.
Motion, trustee Kruger, second.
Second.
Trustee Rufato, roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, we do have an executive session this evening for the purposes of collective bargaining matters. That means I need a motion to recess into executive session and adjourn the regular meeting.
So moved.
Trustee
Second.
Kruger, didn't you make the motion?
Raffato made the
Raffato
motion.
made-
Otto makes the motion, trustee Kruger makes the second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. Recess. I would like the, take 5 minutes so that I can eat my, what? Cupcake.